It was a crisp morning when the sound of pounding footsteps echoed across the property. HOA Karen had arrived with her usual entourage of local law enforcement, confident that she could enforce her self-declared authority. By now, our family had become accustomed to her dramatic arrivals, but this particular day would prove to be one of the most audacious and disastrous attempts yet. Karen had called the police under the pretense that we were violating some obscure rule regarding guest occupancy. She arrived with officers in tow, expecting immediate compliance. The sight of her striding toward the house, papers in hand and voice raised, was meant to intimidate. She was confident that her theatrics would result in instant submission. What she didn't know was that our guest, a longtime family friend and decorated law enforcement officer, was visiting for the weekend. My wife had anticipated the possibility of Karen escalating her actions and had discreetly informed our guest, who was now standing calmly in the living room. The moment Karen and the officers entered, the dynamic shifted dramatically. Karen immediately began her tirade, demanding access, shouting about violations, and waving her papers as if their existence granted her ultimate authority. She pointed at my guest, attempting to insinuate that his presence was somehow illegal or suspicious. That's when my guest stepped forward, his calm but commanding presence immediately filling the room. "Ma'am," he said, addressing Karen directly, "you are on private property without consent. Any further attempts to intimidate or trespass will have consequences." His tone was firm, unwavering, and authoritative, a stark contrast to Karen's flustered and overexcited demeanor. The officers accompanying her paused, unsure how to proceed, as they realized they had been enlisted under false pretenses. Karen's confidence faltered almost instantly. She stammered, trying to maintain control, but her words fell flat against the reality of the situation. Every attempt to assert authority was countered by my guest's presence, his calm explanation of the law, and the clear legality of our actions. Neighbors, who had quietly observed from the edges of the property, began whispering and taking note of the unfolding spectacle. As the confrontation continued, Karen's frustration turned to panic. She attempted to escalate by demanding immediate fines and threats of eviction, but her claims were repeatedly refuted. My guest, skilled in both law enforcement and de-escalation, guided the situation to a resolution without any physical confrontation. The officers accompanying Karen, seeing the lack of legal basis for her actions, quickly stepped back, leaving her isolated and humiliated. By the time she was escorted off the property, Karen's face had gone pale, her self-assured swagger replaced by confusion and embarrassment. Her usual theatrics, screaming, pointing, and issuing threats, had all been neutralized by preparation, calm reasoning, and the presence of authority she could not control. Neighbors who had witnessed the event later described it as a stunning reversal of power, the self-proclaimed enforcer reduced to a figure of public ridicule. Later that evening, my wife and I reviewed the footage captured by the cameras. Every gesture, every shout, and every moment of Karen's unraveling was documented, further solidifying her reputation for overreach and incompetence. The guest's presence had turned what could have been a stressful encounter into a decisive, controlled response, demonstrating that proper preparation and authority could neutralize even the most audacious attempts at intimidation. By nightfall, the house was quiet once again. Karen's reputation had suffered another significant blow, and our family could reflect on yet another victory in the ongoing saga. Each of her overreaches, once intended to intimidate or manipulate, continued to backfire spectacularly. The lesson was clear. Entitlement, aggression, and theatrics could never overcome preparation, calm reasoning, and the quiet authority of those who know their rights and stand firm.